Hello, fans. It's the devil here. I'm diving into politics, but not really to take a side. I really want to do what's best for this country. I have no idea how to do that. All I know is we have two parts of the country. They're in polar opposite directions. And I think I've found a simplistic way of figuring that out, or at least giving a sort of metaphorical perspective that might be helpful. We'll talk about, the left and the right and the priorities of each, or else the perspectives of each. And we'll start with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. If you've never heard of that, it's just a basic psychological tool that you use to kind of identify your level of need. And we all have those basic needs, shelter, water, food, clothing, warmth, just basic connection, reassurance, where you have to overcome the insecurity. You don't want to be food insecure. And those are the basic things where you're using these basic survival type approaches to your life. You're not thinking about heaven or a unified globe or anything lofty like that. You're just not there. And most of us do struggle with just meeting basic needs. So, that's just the reality. The next level is the second level up is just concerning safety. Now you want to now that you got your basic needs met, you want to make sure that people aren't attacking you, hurting you, or hurting others in your immediate world. It's important that you try to maintain this safe distance because you're not sure of the people around you, and that's fair enough, right? That's so in a way, I would say the majority of us live in these basic bottom two levels of needs. We have our needs. If our needs are met, we can move up to the next level. So when our basic biological needs are met, like food and clothing and water, then we can start concerning ourselves with our general safety. Make sure that nobody out there is going to hurt us. If you ever see animals, that's where they live. They know how to go out and get food, but they have to be very careful that there's not a predator out there that's going to eat them or harm them in any way. So in humanity, most of us stay in those first two levels. We don't really reach any of these higher levels. So I like to say that the Republicans understand that about human nature. And they understand that most of their voting public lives in these two levels. Whether they're going to do something about them and help them maybe meet those needs and then move on to a higher need, well, that's a matter of debate. But at least it's clear that Republicans can identify with most of America, because most of America is just at these bottom two basic needs level. Doesn't mean that they're stupid, doesn't mean anything. It just that means that their priority is about getting their basic needs met and making sure they live in a safe environment. And Republicans know how to appeal to that. Donald Trump knows how to appeal to that. He himself lives in those two levels. He is a very insecure person, and he is very much focused on meeting his needs, his sexual needs, financial needs, even basic needs, where to live. Like Mar-a-Lago is, his place. He has to have that level of opulence so that he can feel secure about getting his basic needs met and maybe even get his safety his personal safety needs met. I mean, he gets to have the the guards, all these security people who are part and dedicated to making sure that he's safe. And that's amazing. So he's managed to really establish himself in those two levels. He has solidly managed to maintain, although he's constantly insecure about it, because look at how much money he goes through. But people relate to him. He is constantly peddling, getting money because he's just too unsure about his future. And he lives in that insecure place. And you think, well, people would find that wretched in their leader. Well, maybe. I don't know if they should or not, but all I know is Donald Trump is much more relatable than the left side, the Democrats, who tend to think of themselves in these higher, loftier places where they use their intellect and they have this awareness of, the global perspective, how they fit into this world, how they can express themselves through their occupation. They have more lofty ambitions about, and maybe they have achieved a level of security in their basic needs, and they can risk, or they can afford, or they can develop the perspectives at these higher levels. Unfortunately, their politics seems to think that everybody should be up here at the self-actualization and complete awareness about the world they live around and try to better the world. And that's all great and ideal, but most of us, we're not there. We can't relate to that. So the Democrats are out of touch with the basic needs that all of us, most of us, I won't say all of us, but most of us are mired in. We're stuck in these two places. And although the Democrats might offer some kind of lofty way of trying to help people rise out of these lower needs, they're not relatable because they're coming from this perspective from the top down, the self-actualization, where they think of themselves in this sort of complete sense of oneness. They understand their world around them. They understand their jobs. They really may be, very much in tune with who they are, what needs they have achieved, what needs they have met. And now they want to, have a more global perspective where you step outside of yourself. And that sounds great. But maybe Democrats would be better off thinking of the country as this hierarchy of needs. And as a country, we definitely are stuck in these bottom two levels. And if they don't change their political perspective and recognize that America may want to be and aspire to these higher, loftier levels of need and awareness, they may not be able to. Because if you're going to look at the rest of the country as a project where you have to raise everybody out, nobody's going to relate to you. Everybody's just stuck. We know who we are. We know we got to live this way. Got to meet but here in the middle, this middle ground here where you attach to your community, you attach to your family, you are now ready for levels of love and relationships. And this is where that middle ground between the Republicans who focus on the bottom two and the left who focuses on the top two, not that they focus on it, that's where their awareness, that's where their perspective comes from. And what they could do is stop dragging people up into this hierarchy and maybe just offer that middle ground, development of community, development of family, of love, and those kind of things, so that at least people can understand that. Because that's going to be the next level. As their basic needs are met and as they feel safer, they can start to develop these communal connections. And that's why a lot of religious people prefer the right, because they understand that in a religious sense, you can have a sense of community. So that's where the left goes wrong. They should be operating in this middle plane, understanding, fully embracing the idea that most people are here at the bottom two levels, trying to just get their basic needs met. And if the Democrats ever hope to run this country or help build this country up to the levels that they want, they got to stop, sort of looking down their nose on the rest of us who struggle at these first two levels. If you really want to be helpful, then help us at least give to this middle level where we can all relate to each other again. Otherwise, we're just going to be stuck, and they're going to just keep connecting with the party that understands where people are. And if the Democrats don't understand how the Republicans are appealing to most of us who live in these bottom two levels, then the Democrats are never going to be much help to the rest of America. Okay, that's just my perspective. You can tell me to bite me all you want. I don't care. But I am trying to help humanity. That's my purpose. I have abandoned the purpose of praising and obeying God. Although he did ask that we do two things as angels: praise God and help humanity. So I can't do the first one, so I'm trying to do the second one. So just think about the country as this hierarchy of these 5 levels of needs. And perhaps we can meet in the middle. That's all I'm saying. All right. Good luck to all of you, and I hope we can build a better country. Take care, everyone.